for a regime, and it was inevitable that there would have to be a crash in this relationship, and that crash happened very literally on September 11th, when most of the hijackers turned out to be Saudis. They were the legitimate, real products of Saudi society. So that's not a society with which we have much in common. So what are those countries then? What are countries that share our long-term strategic interests and also have societies like ours? Well, I think that the first obvious choice is Turkey. Turkey is a unique country in the Islamic world because it is a thriving democracy with a booming economy. It's, even without doing anything, a perfect model for the Islamic world. It's a country that we ought to be promoting and whose success we ought to be applauding and encouraging, because when other Muslim countries around the world wonder what is the advantage of becoming democratic, what is the advantage of opening up our economy, the answer can be, just look at Turkey. If you become democratic and have an open economy, your people can live as well as the Turks. And I think when you're sitting in Iraq or Syria or other parts of the Middle East, including Iran, that seems very attractive. Turkish society is very vibrant. Turkey has really managed to reinvent itself as a country as times have changed. I think that's the key to its success as a nation. And Turkey is now taking on a very interesting strategic role in the Middle East. For a long time, Turkey really had no independent security profile at all. You never heard about Turkey playing a role in world affairs up until actually quite recently. And there were some good reasons for that. Turks never wanted other Muslim countries to fear that they were trying to reassemble the Ottoman Empire. And for many years, Turkey was actually a very primitive country in the 1920s, 30s, and 40s. It needed all of its energies for internal development. But now that's changed. Turkey is playing a bigger and bigger role in the Middle East. And the central theme of its diplomacy is we need to resolve regional conflicts through negotiation, through diplomacy, through compromise. Turkey is now beginning to serve as a broker. It was trying to be a broker between Syria and Israel. It's trying to be a broker between Iran and the United States. It even worked as a broker between Russia and Georgia. So this is a very positive role. For a long time, Turkey wasn't able to play this role. Why? Turkey has some great qualifications for leadership. Of course, the cultural and political history of the Ottoman Empire is part of that. And the great example that Turkey poses as a successful society is another reason why it has the prestige to project power. But there was always a problem in the past, which was that Turkey had become so secular that many people in the Muslim world and leaders of Muslim countries and factions almost believed that Turkey had essentially become an infidel country, didn't really have good Muslim credentials anymore. That's now changed. Turkey now has a president and a prime minister who pray every day and whose wives wear headscarves. I think that unsettles some people in the United States. But in a way, it's good even for us because it increases Turkey's credibility in the Islamic world and raises Turkey's ability to serve as a model, to serve as a bridge for American ideas and Western ideas of freedom and democracy, and possibly also as a bridge the other way, a bridge for the United States to listen to and understand more clearly voices that are coming out of the Middle East. Now, in the last few weeks, we've been reading a lot about new friction between Turkey and the United States. I think some of the extreme analyses of what's happening between Turkey and the United States are not true. It's not true that Turkey has turned its back on the West or is no longer going to be a good NATO ally or has become a friend of Iran instead of the United States. That's not what's happening. But I think what is happening is something that is also a little bit difficult for the U.S. to assimilate. And that is that Turkey has a new message for the U.S. Here it is, more or less, as I perceive it. We're on your side. We always have been. We support your values. We want to help you in the Middle East. But we have some advice for you. You need to ratchet down your rhetoric and your confrontational attitudes here. We can help you. We can help you reach factions and governments and individuals, and we can help you make deals that maybe you couldn't make on your own. But you need a little advice from somebody who lives in this region. And we're happy to provide you with advice if you want us as partners. The United States is not ready for this. we are not ready to find some country in the Middle East that could please come and advise us on how to approach the region. But we still feel that we get the Middle East. Other countries don't get it, including countries that live there. They don't understand the imperatives of policy the way we do. So I think this is the kind of psychological disconnect that's now separating Turkey from the United States. Turkey would like to be a partner of the U.S., but in a real sense. In any partnership, you have to listen to each other, pay attention to each other's views, and act according to each other's recommendations. The U.S. isn't quite there yet. I think Turkey might be a little bit ahead of a historical curve. In the 21st century, we certainly are going to see this phenomenon of the rise of the middle powers. Not just Turkey, but Mexico and Brazil and Russia and India and South Africa are all going to become more important players in the world. Turkey's probably trying to push that process along as quickly as possible. Meanwhile, the United States is on the opposite track. We're still trying to hold on to the structures of the past when we ruled. So I think this is a little bit of a historical divergence. I'd like to see the United States actually realize that it would be good for us to find partners in that part of the world and listen to them. And I think Turkey makes a very good partner for us. And we make a good partner for Turkey, too. I think it's actually a good match in a number of ways. Now, what about Iran? I see Iran as the only other country in the Muslim Middle East, besides Turkey, that not only has a vibrantly democratic society, even though it does not have a government that reflects that society, but also has long-term strategic interests similar to those of the United States. Now, how can that be? We're being told that Iran is the implacable enemy of the U.S., but actually the fact is that